friends, and welcome back to musicmoose.org. We're going to explain a little more in depth here on the major scale, the 8 notes in the octave. In the last lesson I showed you the linear form of nice and down the neck, straight down the neck here, and I explained the down-up picking pattern of that. The very beautiful thing about the ease of guitar, actually, when it comes to memorizing scales and playing them correctly, unlike the piano or a wind instrument or brass, your patterns, actually, when you move over from the 6th string to the 5th string, and once again we'll use G and C as an example, the pattern actually stays exactly the same. So if I was to play the G, okay, well, what do you mean the pattern stays the same? Well, when I move it over to C, okay, it's going to be exactly the same position. I don't have to move down the neck or up the neck, it's right there. So C. So that pattern stays exactly the same as far as fretting goes. Now, of course, when I move down to my D and G string, the pattern will change a little bit, but we're going to stay right here on the 5th and 6th and 5th string for the moment. So that G and C. Oops. Back down. C. G. C. So once again, it's a great finger exercise. Besides training your ear and knowing the notes and the positions, it really gets your hand warmed up. And if you spend a lot of time with that on the last lesson, like I had suggested, on just even taking 5-10 minutes of getting used to the stretch, you'll start to feel your hand loosening up a little bit, because I know at first it can be very challenging depending on the size of your fingers and dexterity. It's a little weird. It's kind of like learning how to walk, along with holding the pick and the guitar. One thing at a time, you take it in and you get comfortable with it, and you'll notice the more you do it, the easier it does get. Okay, so that's the linear shape of a 1-octave major scale in G and C. Now, if I was to play the G major scale right out of the first position G chord, okay, with the same notes involved, I'm going to spell it out and count it out. Right here in the G chord, without doing the linear stretch, it doesn't look like much when it's in the first position like this. You say, wow, you're not moving your hand. Well, that's actually one of the key points to staying in this first position and playing a scale right out of a chord. So I can do the same thing: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, right there in the first position. I didn't have to move down or up. I'm not wasting any energy or timing on searching for the notes. It's all right there. Okay, now if I was to move over to the C chord, you can see it's very similar to the pattern of the G. It's not exactly the same like it was in the linear shape, but it's very similar. Basically, it's spelling out the chord with the major scale. So, C. Okay, well, how did I find those notes? Well, if I was to go back to that linear shape of C and spell out all 8 notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, D, E, F, G, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Sorry about that little mistake. I'm sure you'll make plenty of your own. I do. So, right there, within the G and C shape in the first position, the chords, you can see you've actually got a pretty good amount of stuff going on there, and I think you can keep yourself pretty busy between the linear mode of the major scale and the open position. So if I was to play this in a slow, common time, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C. Okay, so being right there in the first position, G and C, two different ways to play the major scale, ascending and descending. And that should definitely give you a lot to work on. Getting used to the stretching, the picking technique. So, having said that, friends, we're going to take it out with a G major scale. Thanks for stopping by musicmoose.org, and we hope to see you in the next lesson.